Kurt Weidner, Team Salvation sponsored athlete, WNBF pro bodybuilder, here back with day 2 of my 4-day workout split. What I want to mention is that in the first 2 days of this plan, I'm hitting what I consider to be the largest, most important muscle groups for overall development and also for presentation of physique on stage. In day 1, as I talked about in the last segment of this video, we hit shoulders and back. And the shoulders and back and the upper body really determine not only the greatest amount of mass in the upper body, specifically the back, but also the most amount of shape that's going to enable you to develop that V taper that's going to make you effective as a bodybuilder. So day 2, we're going to look at a leg workout, and this is a comprehensive total leg workout that with a primary focus on quads, although involvement of all aspects of the leg, the quadricep, the hamstrings, the glutes, and the calves. When you look at the body parts, a lot of people, especially youngsters, tend to neglect the larger muscle groups, especially legs. Why? Because they're harder to train. When you look at somebody who has big legs, big back, you know they paid their dues because these muscle groups are very taxing to make them grow, and it takes time. So in the first 2 days, I'm going to focus on those body parts that require the most amount of effort and energy. So let's get into the leg workout here. The way I look at my Tuesday workout is I'm going to hit usually around 2 large compound movements. So what am I talking about here? When I say compound movements, I'm talking about movements that incorporate multiple muscle groups. So you're hitting both quadriceps, the hamstrings, and glutes, full range of motion, hip joint dropping below the knee joint on exercises such as barbell squats, hack squats, bear squats if your gym has one. So we're going to have a minimum of 2 types of movements like that. The particular movements that I choose for a given workout are going to change week to week. So if this week I'm focusing on barbell squats and leg press, then the following week I will choose 2 different leg movements and actually incorporate a different methodology in terms of reps. If I decide to work on heavier weights with something like my barbell squats, then my approach with a leg press on that particular day might be very different as far as doing 20 and 30 rep sets. So I'm not just going heavy. I'm taxing the muscle fibers in different ways. In one particular movement, I might be focusing on anaerobic endurance, where another one, I'm working on a little more strength and power. So we want to try to develop the muscle fiber in the most balanced way possible. So we have 2 compound movements, and then there's going to be incorporation of some type of a lunge movement. A lunge movement would include a walking barbell lunge, a step up, a Smith machine split squat, anything along those lines. Again, you're still going to be working the quad, but with stepping away out from your body a little more, you have greater inclusion of the hamstring and gluteal muscles. This is an area where most guys as bodybuilders tend to lack. They might be quad dominant from the front, but when you turn around and face the curtain, you can see who paid their dues, and for those who do, it's usually lights out at that point. Because when, developing a big, strong set of hamstrings and glutes, striations and separation, that's what separates, your amateurs from your pros. From there, we've gotten the big movements out of the way, and we're going to mix in some isolation movements, the kind of the finishers. So this would include things like leg extensions, leg curls, multiple calf raises, both bent knee calf raises and straight leg. The only bent knee calf raise would be a seated calf raise, which focuses more on the soleus. The importance of that is that when you're hitting a pose like a side chest, if you actually spike the heel the way you're supposed to, you show split between the soleus and the gastrocnemius, and so that that's a nice polishing touch. So I think it's important to not just do big movements like the standing calf raises that are going to get overall mass in the gastrocnemius, but to include both. Then the extensions and curls. I tend to go higher reps on my compound movements such as barbell squats and leg press. Leg presses I'll go up to 40, 50, 60, 70 reps sometimes. And on my movements such as bear squats, hack squats, regular squats, often the 10 to 20 range. On my isolation movements, I actually like to go as heavy as possible. So we're going to go sub 10, sometimes down to even 6 or 8, often using a flush method where I come up and actually do pauses, negative resistance, and then often drop sets. So again, within the total workout, I'm using various rep schemes and approaching recruitment of muscle fiber in a different fashion to try to get overall balance of the conditioning.